Good afternoon, members of the media. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Once again, thank you, Trevor, for joining us this afternoon, for other members of the media. Mr. Sean Field Lament, Superintendent, who was the officer in charge of the policing operations over the Cup Match holiday, is going to provide us with a post-Cup Match or a recap of the Cup Match policing initiative, when there were 27 arrests, and a number of those arrests were for driving whilst under the influence, something that the superintendent spoke about in the pre-Cup Match press conference. Mr. Field Lament.
Thank you, Gary. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everyone enjoyed their Cup Match. As from a policing perspective, it was a relatively quiet Cup Match for us in terms of serious crime. Thanks to the cooperation of the general public, we got through it with no major incidents. It was 5 nights, 4 days public holiday, and we were busy. But I think the presence of police out there interacting with the public and advising them kept things fairly much under control, and we were very happy with the outcome of the weekend. Starting with the beaches were extremely busy throughout the island. Horseshoe Bay and Clearwater were busy. We didn't get the numbers we expected, but it was relatively peaceful and well behaved. We did have one incident in the parking lot at Horseshoe Bay where there was an altercation and a bladed article was brandished. We were able to follow up very quickly with that and bring 2 people into custody, and that's under investigation. If you were in the parking lot on Thursday and saw that, please contact 211, and if you can provide some information, that would be fantastic. Unfortunately, there was another report of a sort of stabbing incident in the Camp Hill Middle Road area in Southampton. The victim was an 18-year-old male. He had a non-threatening injury, and we responded by putting some patrols to reassure the areas of Jones's Village, Cedar Hill, Khyber Pass, Middle Road, Ord Road. The incident is under investigation, and so if anyone has any information, once again, contact 211. We believe the incident is gang-related, but the victim is not making a formal complaint as we would expect. So that was the parks and the beaches. Like I said, very quiet, most part well behaved. We had extremely busy time out on the water. Lots of activity throughout the marine environment. Firstly, I just want to say a job well done to the Coast Guard that were bolstered by armed police officers. Their high visibility had the desired effect. Also, I just want to take this moment to say thank you to the boating public in regards to adhering, to the most part, to the regulations and restrictions that we put in place, especially around jet skis. This made the water far more manageable and far more safer. And whilst there was boating raft-ups throughout the island and vessels, there was hundreds of vessels out on the water, we relatively had a minor incidents here and there, but on whole it was very safe. On Friday we had a boat sink up in St. George's on its moorings. The Coast Guard attended, no one was on board, and there was some underlying issues with the vessel, and it'll be recovered. And that was about 6 o'clock on Friday afternoon. On Sunday, at 4 o'clock in the morning, we attended a boat fire down by Devonshire Dock. When we arrived there, we found a 21-foot speedboat engulfed in flames. The Bermuda Fire Rescue Service attended. The fire was extinguished, but the boat was basically totaled. We are treating it as suspicious. The Bermuda Fire Rescue Service is doing an investigation alongside the police. There were no reported injuries and no other boats were damaged. However, if you do have some information that might assist both the fire service and the police in investigating it, please call us, 211. Elsewhere, we, as I said, the Coast Guard Marine Police were extremely busy. A lot of calls for assistance. A lot of people ran out of gas, which is rather unusual. We also did issue a number of marine traffic tickets. So that was the water environment. I just want to once again say thank you to the members. The marine environment is extremely challenging, and the fact that we had no major incidents, no injuries to speak of is a result that we can all be very pleased with and very proud of. So thank you again. Unfortunately, the same can't sort of be said about the roads. I did stress early last week that we were going to be out in force, and I did try to encourage people to have plans in place. The vast majority of people did. So let's not blow this out of proportion. The vast majority of people used the roads with responsible and a certain degree of respect and wisdom. However, we did make some arrests for driving whilst intoxicated, DUI, so there was 9 in total. We also were out there issuing speeding tickets and other traffic offences. Over the weekend there were 63 tickets issued. The highest speed was 86 kilometres. So we still have a ways to go to get that sort of behaviour under control. But the biggest thing is we got through the weekend with no fatalities and no major injuries, which is always a blessing. So once again, thank you to most of the people for behaving themselves. As Gary started off the conference with, we had 27 arrests over the 4-day, 5-night period. Just to break them down in general terms, I won't go into the specifics. We had 3 for assault, 10 for outstanding warrants. Maybe next year I'll ask people to come in and sort out their warrants before the holiday so we don't have to ruin their holiday. If you have a fine or you haven't been to court and you miss a court date, go down to the court liaison unit and ask for assistance, and we can hopefully arrange to sort the matter out so that we don't have to impact on your holiday. You know, work with us and we'll work with you. As I said, 9 for impaired driving, 1 for possession of bladed article. I just remind people that bladed articles, there's specific legislation that will result in you being arrested and put before the courts if you're found in possession of a knife or a bladed article. Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of people carrying knives on them for personal protection. That is a criminal offense, and we're trying to urge people to put the knives away. We had 1 for dangerous driving, 1 for possession of controlled drug, obviously over the 7 grams, and then 1 for a breach of bail. We had a busy time sort of dealing with minor antisocial stuff. We had 10 loud music complaints, 8 domestics, which, you know, varying in severity, but that's to be expected over a long period where people are out late and alcohol's involved. So we deal with all sort of calls for assistance. We had 3 medical emergencies. In regards to crime, it was a very quiet weekend. I don't mind saying that. We had 6 crimes against property, which is like 3 thefts and 3 burglaries, which for a period of 5 nights is very good, especially if you think that some of the houses may have been empty. So well done there. So that was sort of the general policing activity. I'd just like to take this a moment to thank our partner agencies. The Royal Bermuda Regiment were outstanding. They were present side by side throughout the week with us, down at the beaches, on the parks and on the water, so they did a phenomenal job and were an asset to our country. In CATA and the Road Safety Council, they were present and certainly helped with influencing people down at the Horseshoe Bay in regards to driving and drinking. And I think their message of ABCD on the whole was playing out, so well done. A big shout out to the Department of Parks. The men and women of Parks do a great job. They have a lot of parks and beaches to cover, from Somerset to St. George's, and they were out there spreading the love. They were particularly helpful in influencing people to be responsible and clean up after themselves. Horseshoe Bay, whilst numbers weren't big, the mess was, and they were able to clean it up by about 9 o'clock through some really hard work. So well done to Parks. I'd also like to shout out to the lifeguards, sometimes the unsung heroes. They sit there. I saw them down there in the blazing sun down Horseshoe Bay wearing their mask, keeping an eye on the waters, and we didn't have any incidents over the weekend for them, which is a great testament to their sort of vigilance. So in closing, the other aspect I just want to thank people about, and maybe a message moving forward, is over the weekend we conducted over 50 liquor license checks. We worked with the owners and proprietors of the liquor license across the island. There was some concern that maybe, with the softening of the COVID regulations, we might see some breaches. I want to just commend all the liquor license establishments that we visited, that there was not one incident of non-compliance. They were definitely working with us on this matter. And I think that's a message I'd like to sort of reinforce going forward. We're still not out of the sort of shadow of COVID-19, and whilst we don't have any community transmissions, we shouldn't let our guard down. So continue the great work. Bermuda can be very proud of where we are in regards to the COVID-19. The government and the public are doing a great job in keeping a lid on things. So in closing, I'd just like to say thank you to the members of the public. You guys were outstanding. We had a few minor blemishes, but all in all, it was a pleasure out there, and I think we achieved our goal of having a peace and safe and enjoyable cup match. Certainly Emancipation Day and the first time Mary Prince Day were celebrated safely, and from all appearance, enjoyed by all. Unfortunately, there is no bragging rights this year, St. George's or Somerset. By the way, Sleepy Hollow, that result doesn't count. But we'll see what happens next year at Cup Match, and I look forward to working with you all next year. Thank you.
Any questions, members of the media?
Sir.
Yes, Trevor.
The incident at Horseshoe Bay on Thursday, you stated in your press conference you would have drone footage.
Yeah.
Was the drones used in this incident that helped to keep an eye on the individuals involved?
No, the drone at that stage was on the beach side, and it was used to effect. I mean, the crowds weren't as great, so the reliance on it to use as a sort of a public order measure and safety measure was not as much as we anticipated. The incident appeared to be sort of more of an argument between individuals. A knife was allegedly brandished, and we were able to, because of the fast action of the people that were there, track down the people to residence, and we were able to bring them into custody very, very quickly, and that matter is being investigated. If you did see anything, call 211. We're looking just to tidy a few loose ends up, but in due course, there should be an appearance in court.
In years gone by, we've had high numbers of drunken driving throughout those 4 to 5 years. Would you consider 9 being, no, get me right, any number is too much.
Yeah.
9 is considered a low number. So wouldn't you agree that the average driver did pay attention to the surroundings?
As you said, 9, is too much. I think the vast majority of people were responsible and had plans in place. Obviously, 63 tickets, speeds of 83, 9 drunk drivers. It's not perfect, but it's not catastrophic either. No one was killed. There was no fatalities. We can do better, and I think Rome wasn't built in a day, and certainly our drunk driving culture will take time to get to where it becomes socially irresponsible and not the thing to do. But overall, I'm pleased with the efforts that we did.
Yes, I'm very sorry for.
Can you? I'm sorry.
I'm very sorry for my tardiness. I was just hoping. I was just wondering if you could again give a very brief overview of how things went on Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday. Okay, so obviously we anticipated a lot of people out and about because of the lack of a focal point in the game. It went really well. Horseshoe Bay did have some people down there, a lot of youngsters, a lot of good times had by all. Certainly there was some significant alcohol consumption going on, judging by the cleanup that we had to do. Clearwater was a family-oriented affair, a lot of families down there. We were worried because there had been an incident down there the previous holiday, and quite honest, the men and women of the Bermuda police that worked down there said that it was a pleasure interacting with people, and everyone was in a good time sort of mindset. The parks across the island were busy. The places that we expected to be busy, like traditionally Spanish Point, Admiral Park, were busy. But all in all, everyone was pretty respectful, and I think this is a fantastic time for our country. It shows the national spirit of friendship, and it was a good time. So I'm happy with the results.
And I understand that historically things like underage drinking have been quite difficult to track in a situation like this. But given everybody's behavior over the Comanche holiday, particularly with regards to drinking, how does the police service think that things like underage drinking were handled?
Obviously, it'd be naive to say that there wasn't any. I think our culture in regards to drinking can improve, and certainly, CADA are doing their best to educate our youth. The liquor license establishments are an integral part of sort of enforcing the age limit, and I think on the whole, I think we did a good job. Is there room for improvement? Yeah, but we'll work on that. Yeah.
I've seen and understand that an incident happened somewhere up in the lakes last evening where a young man was stabbed in the leg. Did you?
Yeah.
That's the incident that you said where the individual don't want to press charges.
So we did have another incident. I think it was about 5:45 on Sunday. In the lake area, there was sort of an altercation. The facts are not clear, so you, Trevor, with your sources, seem to know a little bit more. And we would encourage anyone who has that sort of information that they can come forward and assist us. The police attended. We were able to bring one person into custody, and we're interviewing that person, looking for the other people involved. My understanding, it was an altercation, the level of which was really undetermined at the time. So, but the Coast Guard and the armed police officers attended and resolved it fairly quickly. No further. So just once again, thanks to everybody. We had I think, a good cup match, if not a different one. Just a reminder to our partner agencies, the Royal Bermuda Regiment, thank you. Department of Parks, thank you. The St. John's Ambulance, and in particular, were out there monitoring things. They were up by Mangrove Bay for the non-Mariners race, I think it's called, which was well attended, but once again, because the boating public were mindful of the regulations and the jet skis, it was actually not as bad as previous years and quite safe. So thank you very much.